Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Hello, boys and girls. Happy Hanukkah. Today, I thought we would enjoy some Jewish folk tales to help us celebrate Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. Today's story is the Shema and the Mezuzah, listening to each other. This story is about listening and making compromises. Compromises are agreements. Sometimes we both don't think the same way, but we have to find some middle ground. That is what this story is about. But first, in this story, you're going to hear the word Torah. The Torah is the Jewish Bible, or the first 5 books of the Jewish Bible. And the Shema, is a Jewish prayer, a very special Jewish prayer, which comes from the Torah. And this is kind of what it looks like. And it's usually rolled up on a scroll. And then Mezuzah is our next word. I love this word, Mezuzah, with all of those Z's. A mezuzah is a very special container that they use and they place on their doorposts, and it contains the Shema. It contains their very special prayer that proclaims their faith, the Jewish faith. All right, boys and girls, let's get ready. Can you put your hands up? Can you open, shut them, open, shut them? Give them a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your nose. Now there are no more wiggles left in me. I sit quiet, quiet as can be. This way everyone can enjoy the story. The Shema and the Mezuzah, listening to each other, by Rabbi Sandy Eisenberg Sasso. In the 12th century, the great Torah commentator Rashi and his grandson Rabbeinu Tam had a disagreement about how to place the mezuzah on the doorpost of the home. Rashi thought it should be placed vertically. Rabbeinu Tam believed it should be in a horizontal position. As a compromise, it became the custom to put up the mezuzah slanted into the home. Now, this is horizontal, like laying down, and this is vertical. What do you think? Do you think it should go horizontal or vertical? Or do you need to know more about the story to decide? Annie's grandmother had just moved into a new home. Annie was glad all the boxes were unpacked. Now her grandmother would have time to bake her favorite chocolate chip cookies. Can we bake now? Annie asked expectantly. Not just yet, her grandmother smiled. There is still one more box to open. Annie's grandmother carefully opened a small package that Annie recognized right away. That's a mezuzah. We have one on the doorway of our home, Annie exclaimed. My mom told me that inside is special paper, and on it are very important words, the words of the Shema. The Shema says, listen, Israel, the eternal, our God, the eternal is one. Speak these words when you go out and when you come in, when you lie down and when you get up. Annie watched as her grandmother said a blessing and put up the mezuzah on her doorway. Grandma, why doesn't the mezuzah stand up straight or lie down flat? Annie asked. Why does the mezuzah look like it's leaning to one side? It's the same way at my home. Her grandmother smiled. Let me tell you a story. Once there was a town where many people had mezuzahs, but no one knew how to put them up. Perhaps there are instructions inside the mezuzah, the townspeople thought. They looked at the special paper inside the mezuzah. It contained words from the Torah, but no instruction on how to put the mezuzah on the doorpost. Half the people said, "We should put the mezuzah standing up, since the words tell us to say the Shema when we get up in the morning." Half the people insisted that the mezuzah should be lying down. The words tell us to say the Shema when we lie down at night. Neither side wanted to listen to the other. They just argued and kept shouting and shouting. One side screamed, "Standing up!" The other side shrieked, "Lying down!" Oh my goodness. Standing up, lying down. Standing up, lying down. The two sides yelled and yelled. They argued all through the day. They argued all through the night. Standing up, lying down. What were the people to do? They decided to ask the rabbi of the town. The rabbi turned his head to one side and listened. The rabbi turned his head to the other side and listened. What do you think he decided? He turned to look at the buildings in the town. None of them had a mezuzah on the doorway. "What are we to do?" the townspeople asked the rabbi. "Shall we put the mezuzah standing up or lying down?" To the people who believed that the mezuzah should be standing up, the rabbi said, "You are right." To the people who believed that the mezuzah should be lying down, the rabbi said, "You are right." The townspeople were puzzled. "Rabbi, how can we all be right? We can't have the mezuzah standing up and lying down at the same time." The rabbi smiled. "You are right again." "Very funny, Rabbi," both sides agreed. But the rabbi wasn't laughing. "You haven't read the instructions very carefully. The very first word on the mezuzah's special paper is listen, Shema. Listen to one another. You must put the mezuzah on the doorway so that it is standing up a little and lying down a little. The people who wanted the mezuzah standing up listened to the people who wanted it lying down and said, "Well, if we slant the mezuzah, it will almost be standing up." The people who wanted the mezuzah lying down listened to the people who wanted it standing up and said, "Well, if we slant the mezuzah, it will almost be lying down." Both sides liked the rabbi's idea. The people stopped shouting. They stopped arguing. They stopped yelling. They listened. They put up the mezuzahs. The people lived in many different kinds of homes, but they were one people. It is just like the Shema tells us. And that is how Annie's grandmother said it has been ever since. When we place the mezuzah on our doorway, it is not standing up and it is not lying down. It is leaning into our home just the way it should be. When we enter our home and when we see the leaning mezuzah, we remember, she said softly. We stop shouting. We stop arguing. We stop yelling at each other. We listen. We are one. Oh, goodness. I like that they came to a great compromise, that they came to a good agreement. And so, whether we think it should be standing up or lying down, I think slanted is a great compromise. Now, boys and girls, a fun craft we thought for you guys today would be to make a mezuzah. So come and take a look at these. All right, boys and girls, take a look at these 4 mezuzahs. You can see that we decorated these with the Star of David. You can decorate them with some Jewish symbols. We also used some beads and just simply construction paper. What do you think we made this out of? It's made from a paper towel holder. Now, most mezuzahs are not this large, but this is what we had available to us. And also, I thought you could use some toothpaste boxes. Some toothpaste boxes from home, small or large, would be something great that you could use to make your own mezuzah. So we used some fun craft beads, some large beads and sparkles. We used a little tape on the end. You're also going to need scissors. And if you want to print any pictures or Jewish symbols, you can do that. This is simply clip art that we use to put on to decorate our mezuzahs. And then we use some sparkles. You can use glitter and also broken necklaces. We use some of these beads on some. And this is some fun trim that somebody was gonna use to make a dress, but they didn't. So looky here. Now, your mezuzah is supposed to contain your special scripture. And so inside, if it's going to hold something inside, you're going to have to close up the bottom. So here we just cut it and we folded it together. On these, we taped them. Okay, and then you're going to also want to seal the top. So once your Shema is in there, which is your very special prayer taken from the Torah, you're going to want to fold this down, and you might need a little assistance cutting. And then we're gonna just fold it like that, and that way, and then you could tape it, and then no one will be able to, your prayer won't fall out, your special scriptures won't fall out. So that's a mezuzah, boys and girls. Mezuzah. I hope you make a mezuzah, and if you try one from a toothpaste box, please post it for us and let us see how it looks. Whoops. All right, boys and girls. Bye-bye. I'll see you next time. Happy Hanukkah.